From here onward, we'll begin with some news revolving around people other than me. Jerry and Terry are teaming up both in Georgetown for now, and I know that's going to end well. Sarcasm. Partnerships between family never end well unless you're Italian or Russian and in the mafia. And then people die and it still doesn't end well. Someone exploded my favorite convenience store and some building in the business sector on Thursday, not at the same time. They might be new in town or perhaps they're just starting out, but they seemed to know pretty well what they were doing. Either way, I want them on my side or at least to not hate me. Please don't explode my house. Not much else has happened this week in news, so I'm going to tell you about all the exciting things I did. Michael, long story, showed up again on Tuesday while I was trying to buy milk, and I immediately recognized them by that ridiculously curly hair. They are quite the child. They might even have potential if they weren't so excited about everything. They immediately said, "Let me be your partner in crime," and I interrupted them before they could launch into the same speech they use every time they find me. At this point, I can't step foot outside without running into them. Let me buy my milk in peace, please. After that encounter, I actually headed over to some Quick Mart or something like that and robbed the hell out of it. They bring back memories, so I wanted to shoot someone in the foot. Good times. I almost bought a yacht on Wednesday. The only thing that stopped me was the lack of amenities. If your yacht doesn't come with at least 2 jet skis and a helicopter, something is wrong. I've been looking at cruise ships instead for the past few days. Those allow for many more possibilities. I actually picked the phone up a few times this week. I don't do it often because if you're stupid as a young criminal and give your number out enough, then become a good criminal, you get lots of calls you don't want to pick up. I could get the phone disconnected next time I call Terry in from my computers, but I've never remembered in the past and I doubt I'll start now. Regardless, I actually listened to 2 of my callers. One was some guy calling himself The Ripper, and he sounded exactly like a cheap rip-off of some 60s killer. I'm not surprised. Criminals aren't very original nowadays. They all want to live up to some idiotic legacy from 2 centuries ago. The other guy on the phone, Cole, seems fairly reasonable. Apparently, they've been sending me emails for a while now, but to the wrong address, so they decided to call, and it just happened to be the one time I actually picked up the phone. Good for them. They're looking at a partnership, and I am not interested in the slightest, but I will talk to them again. They are interesting enough. Yesterday somebody tried to demolish my firewalls, but they backed off at the last minute. I'd like to think I scared them away, but they will almost certainly be back. I might move everything over to my surrogate tonight, but I'm not stupid enough to keep sensitive information on a computer regardless. They're far easier to access than paper files, and I know how to defend those. I can't simply call Terry in every time someone so much as looks at my computer the wrong way. I might not bother moving anything, but at the same time I might as well make whoever it is think I have something there. Even if they found every one of my files, it wouldn't be an issue. It would take me 4 hours maximum to find an informant, track the culprit down, and kill them depending on how long I decided to take. They wouldn't have time to do anything with the information. Also, to whichever one of you called me out on calling this thing a diary, shut up. I'm an adult and I can do what I want, like burn down your house while you sleep. Now for some outside contributions. I got one particularly interesting story that involves 32 dead bodies in a dump truck, but that one might be a little identifiable, so unfortunately, I can't share it here. If you catch me later with an email, however, I will absolutely spread the wealth. Another story, this one from an old acquaintance of mine, reads, I'd cleared out a warehouse for my boss, and a bunch of random civilians showed up. Apparently there was supposed to be some underground thing there that night. Boss had said she didn't care how long it took, just get it done, so I went back later that night and snuck into the rave. It ended up being a cover-up for some other side operations, and I ended up saving my company's ass on accident. A nice, heartwarming story to wrap up the episode. If you'd like me to share your stories, shoot me an email. If you'd like me to regale you with stories of my childhood and/or relationship advice, you might be out of luck. You can find me at diaryofamastermind@gmail.com.